This past week, I tried something and it worked really well. And then I started doing a little bit more of it and started writing about it because it seemed kind of simple, kind of like a no-brainer, a little hack on LinkedIn. And it's not like I originated this, but I don't see too many people doing it. So I created some content out of it, as I am wont to do. And so the first screen I'm showing you here is simply the blog post on my blog from earlier in the week, where I wrote simply about what it is. It's a simple way to get people commenting because there's so many people complaining about how little engagement there is on social media or on LinkedIn in particular. But I think that there's actually a simple way to get engagement, and it has to do with asking a simple question. Now, when I say ask a simple question, of course, that's not as simple as it sounds because you have to come up with a really good question. But if you can come up with a really good question, then you can get people commenting. And then the idea is you take that content and turn it into a blog post or something else, an article for LinkedIn, where you tag the people that commented and you quote them, and then they share it too. So it's kind of an ever-growing piece of content. So that's what I want to show you some examples of. On my blog, I shared one example where I simply asked, right? It's a very short post for the most part. Lots of people asking, how important is it to have a company page on LinkedIn? Who and what is it good for? Your opinion, please. And a lot of people commented right there. When I posted it, there were 18 comments and 1,300 views or so, right? So the simple steps to do it is on. So then I want to show you how some people are doing it. So this is another one that I did a couple months ago, actually. And so, you know, it has to be, it's helpful if it's a provocative question, a thoughtful question. And sometimes I am triggered by something that bothers me, that I want to vent about or rant about. And if you have something like that yourself, that could be a little ding dong in your head, like, oh, maybe that's a good question to post on LinkedIn about, appropriately, of course. So mine was, am I the only one who feels this way? With more and more of your clients paying you online, how should you deal with the 2 to 3% fees you get charged, right? And all sorts of people had all sorts of comments. It got 72 comments, 88 reactions, and 6,000 views. So that was a pretty good one. I was surprised. So that's when I thought, oh, all right, let's do something with this. So here are examples of some of the people in my groups who are testing this out as well, just this past week. This is Helen. You may remember I shared Helen's Marketing Smart homepage last month. She is a coach, trainer, former lawyer, and judge, and she coaches on workplace well-being and relationships. And her question was, if you were made to sacrifice 10 to 20% of your income, but in return allowed to make any change you liked in your working conditions, pattern, or experience, what change would you choose to make? So the thing that's helpful about that question for her, because of what she coaches on, is that it's related, right? And it gets people basically raising their hand to say, here's what I would do, which may mean I may need your help, right? So can you make that connection and get people to raise their hand that would help indicate to you that they might need your help? Can you come up with a question that does that? And that's another prompt for the breakout rooms when I break you up into your sections, because you could brainstorm with the other person about what that question could be for you. A couple more examples. This is Linda, who was going to be at the Frankfurt Book Fair, and so she used that. It's not happening, or maybe it's happening online, but on the day that it was supposed to be happening in real life on the ground, she used that as a prompt for the question. So I was planning on being at the Frankfurt Book Fair today. You know, here's what I miss. What do you miss? What are you not doing? Right? So we could do that about almost any event that isn't happening, or is it happening online instead. So she's gotten 9 comments and 29 reactions. So that's good. It's not, I mean, it's about the engagement, is to get people commenting, but it's also about crowdsourcing the content so you can create something that isn't totally from you. Nancy, I don't know if Nancy's on this call, but that is, she used this with a really simple question. Also, do you know if you own the fonts that you are using? Fonts have licenses, right? That's a good question because a lot of people may not know. I'm actually not sure, but I know my designer knows. All right, hold on a second. All right. All right, just a couple more here. Maria, she is a lawyer who serves startups, founders and startups, right? Helping founders sleep at night. And so her question related to her work and what she helps with, what advice would you give to someone starting a business? Here's mine. So she answers the question first. That's a good one. She's got 10 comments. And Amy did this, I think just yesterday, and I think people need to comment on this one actually. She says, how in the heck is anyone finding time to focus right now, especially with small kids doing remote learning at home while you're working? Please share any strategies that are working for you, right? Robin, please comment. Right? I mean, this is the kind of thing where, you know, you could just be looking for help, right? That could be your question. All right, last one here. You can also do this as a survey. LinkedIn allows you to do it like a survey. I don't know how, but I'm sure it's easy to figure out. And Cass, who I've also shared her, I think her LinkedIn profile in the past because I love it. So you can take a look at that. But she wrote, in preparation for an event that she was going to be giving, I'm getting ready for my upcoming values workshop, and I'm curious, at what age did you come to recognize the values you live by today? And then she gave some options, right? So that's helpful. She can turn that into content. And it was funny because I commented to her about it and she said, I'm the one who gave her this idea, which I didn't actually realize until she said that. So she is building on that idea and doing her version of it. So I think this is a really simple and effective, actually, way to create content, create engagement, and get conversations going with people.